today after a big UFC pay-per-view. Now, obviously, there was a lot of hype around the card beforehand. So it started off, my most anticipated fight, like the first fight that I was actually excited for, was the Belal Muhammad Sean Brady fight on the prelims. I was the headliner for the prelims. I predicted Sean Brady were to win. I thought he was going to be able to defend the takedown, box Belal up a little bit, but Belal came with such aggression, which I didn't expect, because a lot of Belal's game is to let people come into him, pause, and take him down that way so that they're going into the takedown. And that's what he did against Vicente Luque. He made Vicente have like a sense of comfortability, but really it was just all a trap just to get the takedown. That's why he won his last fight. In this fight, it was really just all aggression from Belal, nonstop. And he said it was because Khabib inspired him to go get the finish this time. I mean, obviously Belal's not known for finishing. He's known for having boring fights. So this fight, not only was I surprised that he won, I thought, of course, there's a chance that Belal could win, but the fact that he got a TKO standing on the feet, it seemed like in the second round, I think that pressure was really getting to Brady. Brady had never, experienced anything like that. He really got the pressure put on him. It seemed like that he was kind of gassing a little bit. He got swarmed with punches, and I don't think Belal's necessarily the biggest power puncher, but when you're getting hit with so much volume, that's just what's going to happen. The referee was forced to step in, and of course, Belal got the win. As far as Belal goes, I would like to see him fight. Next up is a title shot, unfortunately for him, because so held up right now with Usman. He has to fight Edwards again, and then you have Hamza and Colby that are possibly fighting, and you would assume the winner of that would definitely fight for the title. But then the Beneil fight, I predicted Mateus to get a decision win. I thought maybe his wrestling was going to be more of a factor. I thought he'd be able to wrestle him a little bit more, mix it up, be able to stand with Beneil. But Beneil, man, like, he was so good on defending the takedown, go for the heel hooks or go for submissions, just create scrambles, get out of those situations. A lot of people overhype these prospects. I'm not trying to say anything about Mateus, because he's a good fighter. You hype them up so much, but you forget, like, Beneil is like that dude. Like, he's been around for years. O'Malley versus Jan. If you look at the matchup, stylistically, like, favors someone like O'Malley, a taller guy that's kickboxing. It's going to be mostly a kickboxing fight, which it mostly was. Obviously, the wrestling was a little bit more than expected. For the most part, it was more of a kickboxing match. And if you're going to want to get O'Malley to the upper top of the division, that is the best way to do it. So obviously, there's like a lot of controversy with this fight because it was super close. I wouldn't say it was a robbery. I did give the fight to O'Malley. I thought the first round was super close. I think it comes down to that. Then second round, Jan, clearly, and then the third round is also close, but I would give it to O'Malley. I had a 29-28 O'Malley, but I do understand why people would have it for Jan, because that first round was close. I had predicted that O'Malley could win the first round. Like I said, which was very telling of what happened in that first round, I said this first round might be very boring because O'Malley is kind of a counter striker. Ideally, yes, O'Malley would want to really put up the pressure in that first round, really get the volume going, leg kick, front kicks, but O'Malley is more of a counter guy, and you saw that in the Pedro Munoz fight. That first round was boring, and Pedro won because there just really wasn't anything to score. The same thing happened with this first round, and then when Jan was able to amp up the pressure and was like, all right, let me start to commit to things, that's when O'Malley got opportunity. I think the wrestling really gassed out Jan. He underestimated how hard it would be to take down O'Malley, which I said in my video that he has really underrated takedown defense. He got taken down, yes, but a lot of times he was able to get back up. I saw a tweet about this when you compare the damage between the 5 rounds with Jan with Corey Sandhagen. He looks like he was barely touched, and you look at with the O'Malley fight, he looks butchered, and the Sandhagen fight, he looks like nothing's even wrong. But the co-main event, obviously very disappointing. TJ Dillashaw came in with a dislocated shoulder, dominant from Aljo. I would love to see that fight, because like I said, that fight is definitely, I think that fight was probably the closest and hardest to guess on the card, because usually, TJ has really good takedown defense, and he has good wrestling, so it was really hard to judge if this would be a stand-up battle, and if it's a stand-up battle, could Aljo be able to fight TJ? So we didn't get those answers. Do they run it back? I don't think they're going to run it back. It's not like TJ is a big name. I think Aljo, though, should fight Cejudo. I think that's an interesting fight. Have Corey fight Sean, and have Marlon Vera versus Piotr Jan. But then you also have Merab in there. Who does Merab fight? There's just so many interesting matchups that it's so hard to tell. The main event, though, Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. Obviously, I wanted Oliveira to win, but unfortunately, Islam won. Still crying tears about it. Like I said, you can't play jiu-jitsu with Makhachev. You know, watching Oliveira's game plan, it seemed like in the first round, Oliveira wanted Islam to be on the ground and show him, hey, this is what I got. First round, Oliveira's at his best. He's not tired. He's fresh, not sweaty. Definitely where his jiu-jitsu in the fight is probably going to be the best. I think he was trying to show Islam, hey, you know, this is what's going to happen if you take me down, and kind of scare Islam, trying to get him away from the takedown so it could be a stand-up battle, and hopefully he could beat Islam in the stand-up battle. I think that was the idea, because in the second round, he barely shot for takedown. Obviously, halfway through the second round, knocks down Oliveira. Oliveira, right away, Islam's on him and submits him. And I think that's probably the clear way that you could probably beat a guy like Oliveira, is knock him down, and then when he's knocked down, because you can't finish that guy with knockout. I mean, as of late, like, the guy just keeps getting up. Now, does Islam deserve 5 stars in the video game? What the hell even is this? I think it's a little ridiculous, but that's just a side note. It's going to be interesting, that Alexander Volkanovski fight, probably, if I were to take a guess, February 12th. Perth, Australia, most likely is going to be that main event. So as far as the lightweight division, obviously you got to go Volkanovski versus Islam. Charles, I would say you do Charles, Beneil, and then you do, you know, obviously Poirier, Chandler, which you're fighting November 12th and at Madison Square Garden. And then you take the best out of those two performances. I mean, I don't think you make an interim title. I don't think that's necessary, but you take the best out of those two, whoever wins between Volkanovski and Islam. But yeah, that's basically it. You know, expect more interviews this week. And that's basically it. You know, I'm sad about Oliveira, so I'm gonna go cry now. Let me know what you guys thought of UFC 280, and thank you for watching.